These assassins were far more terrifying than you think. Not legends. Not fiction. They were real. They didn't hide in the shadows. They openly carried out assassinations and waited to be captured, because that was their mission. This was the real assassin order that inspired Assassin's Creed. In games, assassins carry out their missions without ever being noticed. But in reality, some assassins carried out their killings openly, right in front of people. And they didn't run. Once the mission was done, they were captured on the spot, or sometimes even killed immediately. So how could they do something like that? Behind it was a way of thinking that goes far beyond what we consider normal. They were known as the hashashin. Around 900 years ago, they were a real assassin order that existed in the mountainous regions of the Middle East. Their stronghold was Alamut Castle, built high atop sheer cliffs. The fortress was said to be nearly impossible to infiltrate. The man who built this order was known as Hassan Sabah. He was not just a warrior. He was a highly dangerous leader who controlled people through strategy and ideology. Hassan wasn't just training them. What he was really doing was taking complete control of their minds. Those who joined the order were subjected to intense conditioning. Orders were absolute. Doubt was not allowed. And they were taught one thing above all else: complete this mission, and you will enter paradise. In other words, they came to accept even death as a reward. They were assassins who chose to die. That's why they never ran. They did not fear death. They had been shaped into something no ordinary human could ever become. Their assassinations were unlike anything else. They didn't sneak in at night. They didn't rely on poison. Instead, they chose to kill their targets openly, in public. In markets, in city squares, in royal palaces. They would approach their target in full view of everyone and strike with a single, decisive dagger blow. Kings, generals, religious leaders. Status meant nothing. In fact, the more influential the target, the more likely they were to be chosen. They did not run. Their mission was simple: to succeed and to spread fear. That was their purpose. And that fear reached far beyond a single killing. It began to shape wars and even politics itself. In fact, there is a real historical record of an incident like this. One day, a powerful ruler was praying inside a mosque, a place heavily guarded, believed by everyone to be completely safe. But then, a single man quietly approached. Disguised as a worshipper, he slowly closed the distance during the prayer, and suddenly, he drove a dagger into him. In an instant, the scene was thrown into chaos, as screams echoed throughout the space. The man was quickly subdued, but he made no attempt to escape. On the contrary, it is said that he was satisfied, having completed his mission. Their mission didn't end with the assassination. Their true purpose was not simply to kill, but to be seen. They struck in public, and they didn't run. That entire sequence of actions was a calculated performance. It was meant to leave a lasting impression on everyone who witnessed it. No matter how tight the security. It doesn't matter. No matter where you are. You're not safe. That's what they wanted people to believe. In other words, they used their own lives as a tool to spread fear. Some say they were shaped for one purpose: to kill. Like weapons. Without hesitation. This isn't fiction. This is what fear really looks like. On this channel, we explore the real history behind the stories. Subscribe and stay for the next one.